Could the Earth be flat? Because one of the reasons that science is so powerful is that it doesn't make very many assumptions. In fact, pretty much the only assumption that it makes is that nature is not trying to fool us. But if we relax that assumption, we can come up with alternative models of reality. The most obvious is a computer simulation. Perhaps we're all living in a computer simulation like in The Matrix, and that would be impossible to disprove. A second model of reality is here. So we've got us down here in Western Europe. There's the moon, there's space, and Australia is up here. So the entire universe is contained within our planet. And to come up with this model, I know this isn't a physics channel, so we're not going to go into this in any depth, but I think that to come up with this model you have to assume that light is not travelling in a straight line and that gravity doesn't work exactly the way it appears to. And it can be stated, again apparently, in a way that it is impossible to disprove. So it could be that reality doesn't work exactly the way we think it does. But flat earthers don't believe this. What they believe is that we're living on a flat plane, but a select group of people know this and they are hiding the truth from the rest of us. Now, I haven't looked into why flat earthers believe this. I suspect there might be some sort of religious element, because a flat earth model would put us at the centre of creation, and perhaps some people don't want us to realise that because they don't want us to know that God exists. I don't know, maybe Satan himself is hiding the truth from us. I don't know, and you can look into that. I'll put some links down at the bottom and you can investigate this yourselves. What we're looking at today is some research by Wagner Egger, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but Wagner Egger and his colleagues looked at the relationship between something called teleological thinking and belief in conspiracy theories like what the flat earthers believe. My own thoughts on this, and I have no empirical evidence for this, is that people are lazy, people tend to be lazy, and they see the adoration that is heaped on a few exceptional individuals. For instance, Albert Einstein and maybe somebody like Jane Goodall, and they want a slice of this for themselves. Now, apparently, most species on planet Earth have not yet been identified. So it wouldn't be impossible to go out and find a new species and give it a name, but it would take a lot of work. It would take a lot of study. It's much easier to get dressed for a hiking expedition, walk through the woods and say that you're looking for Bigfoot. Or perhaps Albert Einstein, he came up with the formula E equals mc squared. It certainly sounds really simple. Why can't a layman get a slice of that action? Well, if they tried to, they would very quickly discover that it's not simple. It's much easier to come up with a model like flat Earth and to do so-called research into it and try and get a slice of scientific adoration in that way. So perhaps that's it. We're talking today about a paper that was published in Current Biology magazine, which looks at the relationship between belief in conspiracy theories and something called teleological thinking. And teleological thinking just means that you attribute a purpose to something where no such purpose exists. For instance, I might look at an apple tree and think that apple tree exists to give me a tasty treat, whereas in reality the apple tree produces apples in order to reproduce. So what these authors did was give a questionnaire to about 150 students that had items to measure teleological thinking and items to measure belief in conspiracy theories. To measure teleological thinking, there were a number of statements, I think 100 of them, such as, this apple tree exists to give me food, and respondents were asked to say if they thought that statement was true or false. To measure belief in conspiracy theories, the authors used something called the Generic Conspiracist Beliefs Scale. And here it is here. And it's asking people whether or not they agree or disagree with statements such as evidence of alien contact is being concealed from the public, new and advanced technology which would harm current industry is being suppressed. We've talked on this channel a few times about what science is, and we define it here as the act of comparing two or more situations under controlled conditions. And the two situations that are being compared here are a group of people who believe in conspiracy theories and a group of people who do not believe in conspiracy theories. It's a little bit more complicated than that because this scale will produce an average for each of these items. So we don't really have two distinct groups who believe and don't believe in conspiracy theories. What we have is a scale, and some believe a lot and some believe a little and some believe not at all. But essentially it's a more complicated version of our usual two situations, and we use statistics to tease out the relationship between this and teleological thinking. And the authors found a relationship between teleological thinking and belief in conspiracy theories, but they were unable to say whether or not people who think teleologically tend to believe in conspiracy theories, or whether or not it's the other way around, people who believe in conspiracy theories tend to think teleologically. The idea that flat earthers would think teleologically makes some intuitive sense. A flat earth model puts human beings at the centre of reality, at the centre of the universe. And if you believe that the universe has a purpose for us, you maybe would believe that we are at the centre of the universe. So that would seem to fit nicely. It's interesting to note that the authors of this paper did not create the questionnaire themselves. They assembled the questionnaire from bits of other people's questionnaires, and they probably gave it to students who they were teaching, so they were seeing anyway in class. So it maybe wasn't that much effort for them, and they were able to make a small contribution to social science with not much work at all.